Hello, it's Brigit here, one of the Silverfit Pilates instructors. So today we are going to do a short session focusing on our back muscles. So mid, upper back, the whole piece. Yes, quite a neglected body part a lot of the time. So we're just going to bring some awareness and attention to that area. Okay, so we're going to start off on our hands and knees. Okay, so just be careful that you're not overloading your wrists here. So if your wrists feel sore, you might want to try a fist hand. That might be a nice alternative. Maybe a claw hand, but don't stay here for very long. You could also come onto your forearms. Okay, so that might be a good alternative for you, but you don't want to overload your wrists. Okay, however, if you can, we're on our hands and knees. And we're just going to make sure that our wrists are underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. And as we exhale, you're going to draw those abdominals in, scoop those abs. This is your exhale. And then as you inhale, just start to tilt the tailbone up a little bit and then lengthen the spine from that. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. So try not to do this. Okay, you want to keep nice and strong. As you exhale, we're arching the upper back up towards the ceiling. You can ground down with the knuckles of your fingers, pressing into the feet, pressing into the shins as well. And then as you inhale, just tilting that tailbone and let the rest of the spine follow through. Length. We want length. We want the shoulder blades to be back and down. And we'll do one more. This is your exhale. And this is your inhale. And then back to our tabletop position. We're going to tuck the toes under. You want to have really strong shoulders, really strong arms, knuckles of fingers, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then we are going to jack the hips up, downward facing dog, and we just start to pedal out through the feet. And it depends on your flexibility as to how close you can get your heels to the floor. So you don't want to force it. Now hold still if you can. If it's more comfortable to pedal, go for it, but otherwise hold still. Just wobble and blobble your head around. Release any tension from the neck and shoulders. And then we're coming into a little plank here. Okay, so you can hold the plank in a full plank, or if you prefer, if your body prefers, more to the point, pop your knees on the floor and have a shorter lever plank. And then release. We'll come into a child's pose, okay? So just sit back towards your heels. Now, if that's no good for you, if you can't get your bum low, don't worry, just keep your bum higher. So again, just do what works best for you. And then we're coming over onto our front. So we're in the prone position, okay? Lying on our front, prone position. And we want to, when we're doing exercises from this position, you want to keep your core engaged. Otherwise, we're going to start to feel some pressure and some pinching in the lower back. Okay, so I'll just move down a little bit. So we are here and we've got our forearms by the side of the mat. And we've got this, I've spoken about it before, but you imagine you've got a P underneath your nose. Press your feet into the floor. Your kneecaps will lift off the floor. And you're rolling that P forwards, 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 forwards. And then you start to lift off. So we want lots of length. You want your shoulders back and down. So we avoid this. We're nice and open here. Present your chest forwards and then peel back down. And it's your exhale as you're lifting off. Don't forget this body part. We want to keep our core engaged. Feel that opening in the chest and the mobilizing in the back. And again. So if you imagine you've got a corset on, and in fact we're using our muscles as our corset, it's our transversus abdominis muscles. Okay, now we're here, and if you feel all right here, we're just going to just play with the arms a little bit. I haven't quite got enough space. I'm just going to change my angle. So it's like we're doing a breaststroke. Big swooping arms. Just getting some mobility through the shoulders. Keep those abdominals working. It's hard work. We'll do one more. Okay, now interlace your hands behind if you can. If you can't, don't worry, just zap energy into the fingertips. And again, we're opening that chest, keep your core engaged. Feeling any pinching in the back, release out of it. And release. And we come into a child's pose. So more relaxed variation of the child's pose is to have your knees wider and the feet together. So this is rather nice. And we'll just take a few recovery breaths here. Okay, so we're paying attention to our back here. So really, as you inhale, really fill up this here. So just really expand the upper back. Getting a good lungful of air. And as you exhale, you want to really empty out. We'll do that one more time. Okay, so we'll come onto our hands and knees. And if your wrists feel a little bit tight after that, you can shake them out, roll them out. Okay, so we're back onto our hands and knees, and this is an old Pilates favourite here. We're going to move our opposite arm and our opposite leg at the same time, but we're going to start off, we're going to keep contact with the mat. So we're just gliding the fingertips forwards and the foot backwards, and you get all the way to the end of the runway and then lift. We don't want this, okay? We want to keep it really strong in the trunk and then come back, and then we'll do the other side. Inhale, exhale. Keep those abdominals working. We don't want to collapse into the lower back, and then lift and then come back. Now let's try this with flex feet, okay? So we're going to push into the heels. We're also going to push into the hands, and that really activates the core. So we inhale, and as we exhale, right hand, left foot, pressing. It's like you've got a wall in front, a wall behind, and press, and then come back. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So you're going to feel this resistance. It's like you're pressing against a wall behind, a wall in front. Okay, and we're going to do that again. Inhale, exhale, you're pressing. Get that core nice and strong. Now, if you can, this is pokey, you'll see here. See if you can grab hold of the foot. Now, we want to avoid that. We want to keep it nice and open. That's optional. Everything's optional. I'm going to put in a little cat-cow stretch here just to kind of equalise a bit. And then we'll do the other side. So left arm, right leg. We're pressing, our core is engaged, we're lengthening, and then and only then see if you can grab hold of the foot. You can always use the strap. It's often, if you're almost there, just use the strap and just kind of get some assistance. And then release. Good. Well done. So we're now in this position, and we're just going to shimmy down to the bottom of the mat, and we're going to have our feet so that our feet are just about as wide as the mat, and we're going to do the saw exercise. So the saw is this, okay? So we've got our arms like so, and we inhale, and as you exhale, you rotate as you reach towards your opposite foot, and with your spare arm, it might feel like a spare part, you're reaching back. So we've got this really strong trajectory line, and then return, and do the other side. And inhale as you return. Get this lift, get this length, and then exhale. You can look towards your backhand. Inhale and exhale. Nice rotation here. Keep your abdominals working. So we don't want to slump. You want to keep that strength. Okay, we're here. Just give yourself a little shake. So move your feet a little bit closer together. So you want to have your feet at hip width apart, and we want to flex the feet. So we're not in a soft foot position, we're in a strong flex. And again, it's like you're kind of pressing your heel into a wall to create some resistance. We're going to layer the hands. So we've got palm on palm. and you just press your hands against the base of your skull, and you press the base of your skull against your hands, and again you're creating resistance here. So we don't want to slump, we don't want to kind of slump or slouch. You want a nice straight spine, and from here, and don't forget about those feet, you're just going to hinge back about 1 inch, possibly 2, and press the hands on the head and the head on the hands, and you'll feel some upper back muscles working. And release. Okay, just roll out your shoulders. So I'm hoping that you kind of felt some muscle engagement across your mid and upper back. Okay, we want a nice straight spine. We're going to swap the layering of the hands, okay, because we default, so it's good to just mix it up. Right, and we're here again. Now, you probably just want to see your elbows in your peripheral vision. If you're too flat, we tend to sort of pop the chest out a bit too much. And if we're too close with the elbows, we tend to slump and slouch. So we just want this slight, just a slight angle here. And we're nice and tall through the spine, and our feet are flexed, and we hinge. Okay, press your head on your hands and your hands on your head. And from here, we're going to inhale. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, like so. And we're going to roll down. Keep those feet flexed. Keep those feet flexed. Keep those feet flexed. And finally, keep those feet flexed. And we're here. And then we're going to take a full body stretch. Oh, and a full body yawn. And then we're going to tuck the knees into the chest, and we'll have a rock from side to side. And then place the feet back down on the floor. And I'll just have a little shuffle down so you can stand back in the centre again. So with this next one, we've got options, as we always do. So you can keep your feet on the floor, or if you want to, if you're feeling kind of warmed up enough, you can lift your feet off the floor into the this tabletop position. Okay, if you're feeling very strong, you might want to straighten the legs, but I would recommend you kind of build your way up into a straight leg position. So the spine is imprinted. If you're in this position, you might want to have a neutral spine if you're in the foot on the floor position. So always listen to the feedback that your body is giving you. If you kind of feel that you need to imprint with your feet on the floor, do so, okay? So we're here, and we're going to have our arms, let's suggest a cactus arm or capital E position. Zap your legs together, feel those abdominals start to zip up, and then inhale as the knees go over to one side. Now try to avoid leaving your feet in the centre, okay? Bring your feet over with. And then exhale, we're back to centre, inhale, twist. We want some active torsion here. Watch the elbows and the shoulders aren't lifting off the floor. Exhale, strong exhale, come back to centre. Inhale, twist. Now when I say active torsion, we've got the legs going that way, but we want to keep the ribs in the sort of energy line in the opposite direction, so you can feel that there's some work. It's hard, I can hardly talk. And then we're going to go over to the other side. Strong exhale to come back. Really feel the vacuum you're creating here. Now I'm just going to do one with the legs lengthened. So when we're lengthening the legs, just have a little sort of a slight ballet foot. So your heels are together. You're pressing into the balls of your feet. And then let's go over to one side. Maintain that torsion, it's really important now because it's stronger. Keep pressing into the balls of the feet. Exhale as you come back. My feet went to the window, so I'm cheating really. It's quite nice though. I'm not cheating now though. That's hard. And then release. Just tuck your knees in. We're going to cross at the ankles. Now, if you can, if you're all right rolling, we're going to roll over and end up on our fronts again. If you're not all right rolling, just roll onto your side and just manoeuvre onto your front. Okay, but if you're coming with me, I'm just doing a couple of rolls. And then we're going to manoeuvre onto our fronts. And this exercise will really drill into the upper back muscles, okay, so it's pretty strong. Now, as per usual, we want to keep a strong core, okay, and that is going to protect the spine. It's going to give us better form. So if we just kind of let go here, we're less secure, okay, we get less out of the movement, and potentially we might have some, we might get an injury. So we're very engaged, we're very energized in the lower body and the core, even though the obvious work is being done in the upper body. And we're like this. So we've got our forehead on the floor, and this is where it stays. And you're engaged here, and you're pressing your feet on the floor. And we're going to lift the arms, so squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try to avoid the elbows coming higher than the hands. Okay, so we're like that. We're in this W shape. And then as we exhale, engage your abdominals, lengthen the arms, you're in your I shape. Back into W. Back into I. Try not to hold your breath. Inhale W. Exhale I. We'll do 2 more. So strong. Now, if you're okay, hold it in the I shape. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And now lift, lift. And now lift your legs. If you can, be careful of your back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And let's come into a child's pose. And stretch that out. It's quite nice here. Let's just do some variation. So we'll press into the heels of the hands. And now we come onto TP fingertips. And then we float onto our hands and knees. Now, we're going to do a press up. If you have a book or a block, or so you want something secure, we're going to do asymmetric press ups, okay? So we're going to raise one hand, and then the other hand is on the floor. Now, if you haven't got anything to hand, you can do an offset press up instead, where you just bring your hand forwards a pace and the other hand backwards a little pace. So you're just, instead of the hands being at the same level, one is forwards, one is backwards, okay? And that's a nice alternative. Otherwise, I'm going to use my block. And you can do a full press up, or a intermediate press up, or a square press up like so. And we're just going to do 3 on each side. Watch out, we don't want the elbows splaying out. We keep it strong. So we inhale, you don't have to go low. Exhale. Okay, that's the box press up. If I wanted to go a little bit deeper, inhale, exhale. And the full press up, try not to dangle your head. Keep your core really strong. Inhale, exhale. Okay, and that's that side. Going to roll out the wrists. So you don't have to go down very far in the press up. You manage it, because think about being able to come back up again. So if you go down too low, you won't be able to get up without kind of losing form. Okay, so we're just going to do the other side. I'm going to do an easier, a medium, and then a hard. Watch out for your dangly heads. Shoulders are strong. So inhale, keep those elbows tucked in, elbows tucked in, elbows tucked in. Exhale. Medium, you can cross the ankles, keep your core working. Exhale. And then if you want to do the full Monty, make sure your abdominals are working. Inhale, this is strong. Exhale. Obviously, you want to be very careful of your wrists and anything else. So if you're feeling the wrong kind of pain, just stop what you're doing and just modify. Okay, we'll shake out those wrists. And now we're going to do this. Roll over. Okay, so the bobble's in the wrong place for this. So again, this is another one. Just if you know, this isn't for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to give you a modification. So the modification is the half roll back, roll over, I can't remember. So this is the modification. So we inhale, and as you exhale, it's just that. Okay, so you're just getting a sort of a little scorpion tail. It's just that. If you're doing the full version, you can have your legs like that, or you can have your legs like that. Energize. Inhale to prepare, exhale. And then inhale as you come back down. So it's strong, yeah, this is a strong movement. Keep control, keep your legs energized, because if your legs aren't energized, they're just dead weight and they can suck you around. Now with this one, when your legs are up and over, do be really careful not to move your head left or right. Okay, so don't, when you're in that legs overhead position, don't do that, okay? Make sure your gaze is going straight up. It's easier if you do this as well. So going to inhale to prepare, exhale. Use your arms as brakes and as levers. You can really use those arms. And then coming back down, vertebra by vertebra. Try not to kink in your neck. And then lower your feet to the floor. We're going to have our feet and our knees and our hips all in line. We're going to bring our arms into it. We're going to have a nice stretch from the front body, extending into the spine. So we inhale, and as we exhale, just tilt your tailbone. Tilting, 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 reaching up, lifting off as we reach up and over. Watch your neck isn't kinking. And we hold it here and just get a really lovely stretch for the top side of the body. You can come up onto the balls of your feet and then release back down. That was so good. I think we ought to do it again. Inhale to prepare, exhale, tilt the tail, reaching up. Come up onto the balls of your feet if you can. And then coming back down again. And then we're going to bring our legs up into the happy baby position. So we've got the knees coming in towards the armpits, and this depends on how kind of limber and flexible you are. So if you're really tight, you hold here. If you're really limber, you hold here. And if you're medium, then you hold here. Now I'm medium. I can hold my feet, but I sort of lose form. And a lot of people do that. So be honest with yourself here. You want to have a nice straight spine. You want to keep your tail on the floor and your head on the floor. And you don't want to be scrunching into the back of your neck. So once you've found your level, your proper level, rather than your sort of ego level, we just go for a little side to side rock. I'm only being strict because it's just much better for us if we're doing these exercises properly. Okie dokie, and then we're here. And we're going to cross the ankles again. Now, we have a default way, so try and do it the sort of the weird way. And then either roll onto your side and come onto your front, or, well, once more, just going to roll like a ball and come onto our fronts. And we're going to have a nice stretch for the back and for the abdominals. Now, you'll know kind of how your back responds to this sort of position because we did it earlier, okay? Now, what we're going to do now is a bigger stretch. So we're going to bring our hands forwards and out to the side a little bit. And you press into the knuckles of your fingers. That might be in the way, so I'm just going to get those out of the way. And you're not going to physically move your hands, but you're going to energetically imagine that you're drawing the knuckles of your fingers towards the bottom of your mat. We press the tops of the feet in, and then we press ourselves up, keep those abdominals working. Get this energy, like you're drawing the knuckles of the fingers back towards the bottom of the mat. Obviously stop if it's too much for your lower back. And then release. And after that, we shall do a child's pose. Just quickly here, do a child's pose. And then just bring your right hand up and over to meet your left hand. So getting a good side body stretch. And then put that hand back, and I'll pick up your left and place it on top of your right. Couple of deep breaths here. Again, just really concentrating on breathing into your upper back, because we've got all this lung capacity here. And when we're lying on our fronts, you can really get that nice expansion. And then we come back, and then we're going to come onto our hands and knees again. And we'll do my favourite one here. So as we inhale, one arm comes up, And as we exhale, we're threading the needle. This is really good for back mobility. All the fascia and all those bits and bobs there, just really get a nice bit of mobility, working it with the breath. You can extend the opposite leg to the arm you're moving if you want to add that little variation, that's absolutely fine. And just finish it off on that side. I'm just going to swivel around because I don't think I've got enough room. So other side. So we're going to open out. This is your inhale, really filling up. This is your exhale. So the mid and upper back can start to lose. Apparently, is the first thing that goes regarding mobility as we get older. So we've got to keep working it. Keep that movement. Don't forget, we can, if you want to do that, extend the opposite leg, and then come back to hands and knees. So we'll tuck the toes under, nice firm footing, knuckles of the fingers, jacking the hips up again, and here we go. So we're just going to stretch the back of the legs. You want to feel that you're hopefully a little bit more flexible than you were 20 minutes ago. Hold it still and just see if you can get your heels a little bit closer to the mat. Don't force it though. Keep those abdominals working. Wobble and blobble the head. We're just going to manoeuvre ourselves into a seated position, and I'm going to get my block. It helps me to raise my hips. I've got quite tight hips. So we want to be able to sit comfortably in an upright position. So we don't want to be stiff. We want to be straight without being overly stiff, but we don't want to be like this either. Okay, so we want to have a nice posture. You're just going to roll the shoulders back and down, and then we'll just go for a few swirls. Hold it here. Swap across the legs, and now we're going to swirl the other way. We're back to centre, and just place your fingertips down on the floor, reaching up with the other arm. Get length, okay, find the length and then go for a side bend. You can just turn the head up to look towards the ceiling. Over we go to the other side, get your length, go for the bend, looking up towards the ceiling. And release. And just rest your hands lightly by your knees. And again, we want to get that nice long spine, okay? And we're going to tuck the chin, and then we're just going to do a few head rolls. If this is an uncomfortable position for you to sit in, change it. So you might find that you're better off just having your feet flat on the floor. So listen to your body. The body is the governor. It will tell you what it wants, and it will tell you what it doesn't want. Okay, we're here, and we're going to shrug, release, shrug, release, shrug, release, shrug, release. Give yourself a stretch, sternum to the ceiling, palms together, give yourselves a clap. Namaste, everybody. In my bedroom today, because my kitchen is a mess, I'm getting ready to go camping. So I hope that was all right. Hope I didn't disappear too much into the mat, and see you next time. Bye-bye.